Hello, everyone. Alright, I want to let you all know that there are some scary movies that are based off of true stories, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, and the Chucky movies. Now, some of you may think, well, Brandon, what do you mean by that? Well, I want to let you all know that, you know, I believe those are not really the only scary movies, everyone that are based off of true stories, but for those of you out there, I want to let you all know that you know, yes, they are based off of true stories. And, just to let you all know that, it's just what they are, they're based off of true stories. So, don't mind the noise in the background. My mother's watching a TV show and watching TV and all that. I'm watching Scream. Oh, wait, I already watched this one. Alright, guys. Anyway, so, yeah, it was. Alright, guys. So, anyway. So, yeah, there was a. Yeah, so guys, I want to let you all know that there was. I want to tell you guys the story of Ed Gein, and I know some of you love scary movies and this and that, so I want to tell you guys some, you know, I want to tell you guys a scary story and this and that. So guys, the scary story is, it all started off back in Wisconsin in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. Where Ed Gein, he lived in Wisconsin. He lived on a farm in the middle of nowhere. And all of a sudden, like, there was, you know, these, these rumors about him. He was a village oddball. He was crazy. He did this, he did that, and all that. So, but really, he started to kidnap a few guys and all that, and he cut him up. He was on his farm. He cut him up, and this was back in the 20th century. He cut him up. He used their body parts as windows, his belts, nipples, and all the other things that Ed Gein he had used back in his farm in Wisconsin. And also, guys, then there was a survivor, or no, or neighbors called the night cops. The cops came. They had taken him into custody, and he was charged with so many counts of murder. Cannot picture that. I mean, it was just crazy. And after that, he was, yeah. So basically, he was caught and he was in trouble and this and that. And this and that, and then come to think of it, Ed Gein was also, I believe Ed Gein was murdered because everybody, the criminals found out who he was in jail and they killed him in Wisconsin. Wisconsin, man, they don't mess around. You know, and also there was and that's why they made the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies and all that, because also Ed Gein was known as Leatherface. He was known as Leatherface, literally. And yeah. Now, so I thought it was from Texas, but it wasn't. It was from Wisconsin. You really research it, it was from Wisconsin. Ed Gein was just one of the serial killers and all that. Now, was he a cannibal? No, of course not. And a cannibal is much worse than a serial killer because they don't just kill you; they eat you, and that's just nasty. Beware, guys. If someone looks at you funny, or they give an evil eye or something, because you never know who they are out there. So be careful. Kind of reminds me of the story back in 2012 when Barack Obama was the president of the country of the United States of America, and when there was this guy named Rudy Eugene, and he ate the face off of some guy named Ronald or something, a homeless guy named Ronald, in my state, in Florida, in Miami. Thank God I don't live in Miami. This was back in 2012 with the whole Rudy Eugene case and all that, what he did to this guy. But the guy wasn't killed. The guy was the guy that ate the face off of Ronald. He was killed because he was cannibal. They didn't know what happened to him and this and that. But I believe he could have been possessed by demons because that's not normal. That's not no human being. It's not no human being that did that to him in 2012. That was a monster that ate that guy's face off. Like, that's just nasty. And a lot of everybody was talking about it. It was on the news and all that. Oh, man, it's nasty. Oh. I don't want to ever think about something like that, guys. Ugh. Anyway, so, other than that, I know I don't have my light on and this and that, and my light's not working, and my TV's on and this and that. All right, guys. So there's also another story I want to tell you guys. Yeah. There was a story. There was a story by the name of. There's a story, guys, about Stanley Stiers. It's not Michael Myers from Haddonfield, Illinois. It's Stanley Stiers. Stanley Stiers from Halloween. The Halloween movies that John Carpenter made, even the Rob Zombie film, because they did talk to and get permission um, from John Carpenter about these films and all that. So let me tell you guys a story about Michael Myers. And yes, he didn't. Michael Myers is not real, so of course he don't exist. So let me tell you the story. It all started in a hospital in Iowa, in Des Moines, Iowa, in the country where back in the 20th century, in the early 1900s and all that, either 1903 or 1905 and all that. It all started when he was born, and there was a nurse. She was evil, she was crazy, and this and that. So she had switched the kids. Stanley with his adopted. Then he was adopted by two, these two guys, this woman and lady, this couple, married couple who had taken in a kid, and they didn't know it was Stanley. They didn't thought it was another child. The other child, the family of Stanley Stiers thought this baby was his, so they were on their way home from the hospital when they all were killed in a car crash. On the way home from the hospital in Iowa. So after that, Stanley Stiers, who thought those were his parents, but no, they were his adopted parents. He found out they found out too late that his family were killed in a car crash. And later that night, he had a sister who was born, and she started to abuse him as well. His family molested Stanley. They were mean to him. He was not allowed to trick or treat on Halloween night for years in October. So it all started one night. The story actually starts late on Halloween night, I think in the 1970s or 80s, or late night in 1915, whatever, when he had enough of being treated what he was treated like and being bullied by his family. So he went crazy. He snapped. He went crazy. He didn't hold back. He took a knife and he killed his family. He butchered his family to death. Murdered them to death. And in a knife. And he killed the family dog. And it was just crazy, guys. It was just like, oof. And later that night, he ran off. He had a Halloween costume on, and bam! He was arrested, and they put him in a mental institution where he was not allowed to be set free, but locked up in a cage, like an animal. And bam! Just like that, one night he escaped the institution, killed the members there, killed the officers, killed anybody who's standing in his way. And until that day, the murders were unsolved, and yeah. But then he just was killed of old age, or someone killed him, whoever knows, or he killed himself, whatever. And that is the story of Stanley Stiers and what happened to him since his childhood and all that. So that's why John. I don't think John Carpenter knows that the guy that the serial killer he created, Michael Myers, was based off a real serial killer named Stanley Stiers. So yes, they John Carpenter and everybody needs to understand that Mike. It seems like Michael Myers used to exist, but no, he doesn't exist. The other guy is real. He used to exist, but I mean he still exists. He's just gone and burning in hell. So anyway, guys, that's all I have to let you know, and that's all I have to tell you guys. And oh, actually, I wonder if Jason Voorhees is a serial killer based off of Jason Voorhees or something. I wonder if that's true or not. Who knows? Alright, guys, that's all I have to say. And other than that, the other serial killers I didn't mention in this video, they don't exist. Alright, guys, so like this video if you are glad that you know this and that. I wouldn't recommend watching those scary movies anymore because of that. The stories I just told you. And no, they're not fake. They are true. They're real. These guys used to exist. I believe. See, death does not mean cease to exist. It means separation from God. You still exist. And yes, you still exist because you were alive, you passed away, or you were murdered or whatever, and you are either in heaven or in hell. Just remember that. Now, there's any other theories about that. Alright guys, that's all I have to say, and enjoy your day.